Alright, I'm finally back. Shit has been hectic, but I am glad that things seem to be calming down now, and I can get back to at least making videos and album reviews. I like to think that people didn't get the wrong memo from the last video, where I was saying like, oh, I have some songs on the B side of Killer. I didn't think were as great. Again, the whole point I was stressing was that they were good songs. I just didn't think they were great per se. So I was glad that people understood that and didn't think I was just calling it shit, you know. But in any case, this of course is School's Out. You know, this is an interesting album, right? To where there seems to be two sides. Like this one group that says this is awesome, and then there's another group that says this is shit. You know, I don't really understand per se. I understand maybe a song like Gutter Cats versus the Jets can turn people off. I don't really care for the ending so much. I'll get to that, of course. But really, when you listen to this album, it's like, is it really anything different from what he's done after? You know, I mean, sure, some things are kind of unique, you know, in terms of some piano playing and whatnot, than the grand finale with all the instruments, but that's kind of the, I'm blanking on it, but the last song off of Welcome to My Nightmare, which is just all instrumental, so I don't really know what it is about this album. I know that people kind of shit on the Bob Ezrin production and whatnot, but I'm like, hey, you know something, it's Bob Ezrin, I get it, you know, I think if you really like Destroyer off of Kiss, you're going to like this. It's not as much of a Broadway production that Destroyer is. This definitely has its elements, but again, you know, yeah, Bob Ezrin, he might be shifting the gears a little too much here and there, but, you know, at the end of the day, this is a fun album. One that I actually haven't played in a while, and then until I started doing this, I've gone back a couple of times, of course. I'm like, you know something, it's actually pretty good, when before I thought, it was alright, but I mean, I really do enjoy this one. So there's the album cover itself, the table. Again, that's screaming to buy, right? Alice Cooper, School's Out. There's a t-shirt of it for the concert. Alice Cooper trashes the world when he wears that, after he's, you know, back on the stratosphere in terms of the charts and popularity. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You got all the bandmates insignias, you know, carved into the desk. You got the little ink cartridge and whatnot. Then the Warner Brothers logo. I haven't looked it up, but it's like a little dog with an eye, I think. I'm sure it means something, of course. But yeah, that's pretty cool. The backside is, sorry, I can never get this shit right. Is the song tracks on them, and what's cool, I haven't really done it because I don't really want to, but when you have this album, you can open these up, these little side rectangle bars, and actually have it as a desk, so it'll be sitting. So that's pretty cool, and the way the album opens is pretty awesome too. It's just like an old desk. So you got Alice and the band there, looking quite drunk and out of society, right? Then inside too, just I know this is like the horrible album cover to try and show on camera, but yeah, various papers. You got marbles, jacks, you know, slingshots, comics, all that stuff. So just definitely what you would see in a a teenager school desk and whatnot. So yeah, this is a totally awesome album cover. Now, what about the songs? Yeah, for the most part, I really do enjoy this track. Again, there's a couple parts that I don't really care for per se, and you know, practically everybody has the same opinion, but for the most part, I really like some of these blue tracks on here. It got really a lot of jazz and brass instruments that I enjoy. I know Must Have Love's gonna basically the entire album's like that, but as opposed to Must Have Love, the songs on here that are the brass and jazz, I actually really enjoy. But in any case, so for the first track of School's Out is School's Out, a song that he plays at the end of concerts since this album came out, right? But it's just a tremendous riff, crashing cymbals. You know, it's something that obviously this song, I guess you can say it's been played to death on radio or in concerts. I think even for him now with concerts, I think he only does half the song, and then he finishes the last half with Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 by the Pink Floyd. But yeah, any case. The vocals that he has, it's very high and aggressive voice. The track now, School's Out, just School's Out for summer. It's just awesome. And I love the change in the audio from when he's singing. So he gets to parts to where, it just kind of drops down. So like, no more pencils. I just enjoy the fluctuation, like the audio too. You can tell Bob Ezrin and shit, just the various audio changes and edits and whatnot. The kids work great. Songs can be hit and miss when kids are in it, for obvious reasons. But the kids kill it in here. They sing along too. They giggle and scream and shit. So it works wonderfully. And again, school's out. You're going to have a bunch of psychotic kids running out saying hooray and whatnot. But this cool ending towards, obviously, for the song with the alarm bell ringing. The kids are all yelling. And then there's this like crazy sort of sound to it. But yeah, to go back to the concert, it's cool. He comes out in this white tux and top hat, and of course he's got the cane and then all the balloons with all the confetti and pops them and whatnot. But I believe, at least for the intro of this concert, for like School's Out, when it first made it big, is t-shirt, it would be black and in white, just says bitch bitch bitch. I've seen that in the Alice Cooper Live in Paris in the early 80s, where he's cracked out of his mind. He's like 90 pounds soaking wet. He's wearing that too. So it's just kind of funny to see the bitch 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 part. But in any case, School's Out, yeah, I really enjoy, and really it is a tremendous song to end a concert, to say the least. All right, the next song, Looney Tune. This is a great song. I said, obviously in the intro, that I think maybe people just don't care for this come Gutter Cats versus the Jets. But, I mean, man, there are some diamonds in this album, and Looney Tune's one of them. It's just down and out guitar playing drums. It's just boom, 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 boom. It's great. And Alice's voice, it's all raspy and pissed. He's kicking a can down a dark street, spit out the moon, stuff like that. But really the story that I can get is he's an alcoholic, and, to be an alcoholic, that the beer helps him with pain. Because there's a line in here, it's something like, a couple shots, I can't feel no pain. So, I mean, obviously Alice, he's, as the 70s progress, he's a major alcoholic, so this song can kind of speak for him, per se. But this character, he, like I say, he's an alcoholic, but he gets locked up, and he's just talking. He's like, is this all real? Is this all necessary? Or is it just a joke? And really, it comes to a point to where he's locked up, and there's no escape that you can see. There's no doors. So he steals somebody's razor and like kills himself. And the line, I'm swimming in blood like a rat in a sewer. Just that line, just very impactful, very dark. And towards the end, there is a nice solo that's still a bluesy feel, and like it repeats the lines of the "Is this all real? Is this all necessary?" Just the boom, 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 boom. Looney Tune. It is a fantastic song. It is dark in its message. It's unfortunate for the character. Alcoholism is nothing to laugh about. It's a very serious subject. And yeah, it definitely shows the dark side of that with this song. Alright, the third song, Gutter Cats versus the Jets. For the most part, I like this song. I do not care about the ending, but I will get to that, of course. But the intro is awesome. It's very Spanish feeling, just the boom 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 boom. And I really do enjoy that. And then it rises and it's joined by guitars and drums. And then this Alice comes out with this enthusiastic vocals. You know, I went out one morning. You know, so basically he's part of the Jets because he sees a cat, you know, out on the street. You know, my eyes bugged out. Her tail stood up. You know, so just if you know The Outsiders in books, so you can interpret that way as Socials versus Grease. It's that type of thing, but really it's just West Side Story, cats versus Jets. And then the intro is the middle. You know, you got the instruments and bass and whatnot. But there's this interesting part to it. There's like a slide instrument. There's a I don't really know what it is. Part of me wants to say like piano, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because there's 2 songs after this one, Blue Turk, towards the end of the slide, it kind of sounds like a whistle, but I don't really know what it is. But yeah, but then after that intro, the voices get very low and kind of cold. So the cats are coming out, so I don't know if they see Alice as a jet hanging out with a cat and like, hey man, you can't do that, because Alice is singing, you know, cats coming down our street. And then there's it quickly grows into this vicious vocals. It's like, cat fight, neck bite, die. And then that's where I don't care after this part. The more the slide instrument happens, you know, because, and you know, that's okay, but I don't really care for the end, which is, it becomes this whole Broadway thing to where it's, you know, when you're a jet all the way, the cats are all here, and here comes the jets, you know, and then the sliders continue. Yeah, I don't really care for that part. I think it kind of detracts from like what happened, but I get it, of course. You know, it's Gutter Cats vs. the Jets. It's about West Side. But I will tell you what I would have preferred was that you get rid of that Broadway part, right? And then you go on to here's the rough part of the films, right? You go on to the next song, which is Street Fight, because Street Fight's only 55 seconds long, and there's no vocals to it, but the bass and drums are low, at high intensity, windows are smashing, things are breaking, and cats are meowing, meow, meow, meow. And it's just, it's a perfect continuation of the last song, of course, but I think if Alice, when he finishes the vocal, die, maybe you could have gone to more of the instruments, the boom, 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 maybe, but I think just ditch the Broadway part and add Street Fight, because then it makes sense. Like, okay, they got together, things are about to die, you know, shit's hit the fan. So incorporate Street Fight at the end of Gutter Cats vs. the Jets. I think that would have been better, but that's just me. All right, so I already talked about Street Fight. So the song after that is the last one of side A, Blue Turk. This, from the lyrics I can interpret, is necrophilia, which is nothing new with Alice Cooper, but it's a very low blues feel to it, especially the bass part too. It's definitely got a Looney Tune feel. Then it gets lightened up by the guitar playing the drums, and the vocals. It's kind of like a smooth. I'm going to call it the blues Cold Ethel feel to it, because the song is pretty much like Cold Ethel. It's just, like I said, it's kind of something, the vocals are kind of something out of Pretty's For You or Easy Action. That's what I get out of it. There's more sliding instruments, but it's not as noticeable or elaborate as Gutter Cats vs. the Jets. But some of the lines pretty cool, you know, in terms of, you know, creativity per se. So one of the lines like, "You're so very picturesque, you're so very cold," and then he'll change that line towards the end, so it'd be like, "Your lips taste like roses on your breath, graveyards in your soul." I take that back, sorry about that. He changed that line at the end of the song to "Your lips taste like whiskey, earworms coming out of your brain." So obviously this person's dead, right? But there's a nice brass instrument with the saxophones, long solo, just this real jazz feel. And, again, there's more of the innuendo with this line. It's one static explosion, two pressure cookers going insane. I believe that's what he said at the end. But in any case, so interpret that as you will. But Blue Turk, again, carrying on with that dark blues feel, add necrophilia to it, and you got the perfect Alice Cooper song, right? But Blue Turk, like I said, ends side A. And we go on to side B, My Stars. This is a nice piano play that's followed with guitar, and it's fast paced. Again, there's a bang of the drums, and I wrote this down. I call it the Mickey Mouse effect, to where the instruments are very elaborate and they're just feeding off of each other, to where a high instrumental tone or whatnot portrays a scene in your mind, or a detail or action, stuff like that. But his voice is high and raspy, and it's very fast singing. So he's like, my stars far away. He's just got this, like I said, really rasp. This song is a nice headbanger as well. There's some parts that I can't really quite pick up on the song, because he does sing a little too fast for me to know what he's saying. But it's nice, a little la-da-da part. It's like la-la-la-na-da-na-da-na-da-na. So that's cool. But the momentum of the song does not give up. It stays together, stays intact, and just feeds off of each other. It's great. And what I get from this song, I read the lyrics, is that it sounds kind of like the father's a pastor and the boy's the mischievous brat. He kind of wants you to defect from the whole thing. He's like, hey man, church ain't my thing. Of course, that resonates pretty well with Alice Cooper and his dad, who was a pastor, but they didn't have any bad blood. His parents knew that, the Alice Cooper, it's just a character, shit like that. Get real, people. But yeah, that's what I get from My Stars, reading off the lyrics. And the ending of this song, it gets a little sci-fi-y. It's kind of got this like sound to it, and there is somebody talking under that. It's very low, but he sounds like this, all elaborate sounding. It reminds me of the song "You're a Movie" from Special Forces. You're a movie, the exception. You're a one of a kind. So it definitely reminds me of that. But My Stars, yeah, I really do enjoy, especially the piano play and just the way he sings it. It's totally awesome. Alright, song after that, Public Animal number 9. It's very hip feeling. That's what I had to write down. Man, this is hip in the intro with the drums and the guitar playing, and of course the background vocals. Hey, hey, hey. So Alice is just, mischievous little brat that's singing about cheating on tests and writing dirty words on desks, and we're off to recess. And he's like, he'd rather trade cigarettes for cheap beer. But really the whole story is like, he's just this piece of shit brat that needs to be taught a lesson. He gets taken to various teachers and principals and whatnot. I like one of the lines. She wanted an Einstein but got a Frankenstein. And the ending of the song, I really enjoy. It's probably like 30-40 seconds. I think it's kind of a short song, but he's just singing the title of the track, Public Animal number 9. And then as it goes on, he really develops this smoker/drinker voice, because towards the end he's not even singing it, he's just like kind of clearing his throat. He's like, I don't really know, but Public Animal number 9, I really enjoy it. The story's cool, just this little piece of shit kid talking about how he's doing all this crap at school and whatnot. But Animal number 9, I really do enjoy. Alright, the next song, Alma Mater. Sorry. I get the Who vibes off of the intro for just a little bit, the instruments. Man, I'm blanking on the song. Generation something, right? Any case, sorry. But definitely, I do get the Who vibes. And there's these wave noises, because he's kind of at the beach. And the voice is like a sound recorder that it's like a verbal diary that he's talking about. It reminds me of the song "This House is Haunted" from the Eyes of Alice Cooper. It definitely has that distorted feel to it. But really, the song about it is just leaving high school and missing people and friends. There is a Beatles feel at times with the lines such as, you know, you're going to be missing people. Yes, I will. So long, everybody. Goodbye. So it definitely has this Beatles feel, like I said. And it's a nice pickup with the backing vocals at that part. And, you know, there are parts are remembering scenes and stuff that they did in high school, like putting a snake in somebody's pants or something like that, and like how a teacher didn't really care for that. But the instruments play, it's just that remembrance tone. And yeah, it's just, I mean, just the way Alice sings this song is, it's really just, you're at a bar with your friend that you haven't seen in probably 10 years, and you're talking about the good old days, you know, back in high school, shit you used to do. But it's kind of funny at the end of the song. He's kind of shocked that they let him leave school. He's like, oh, really? And the part that "don't forget me," you're not going to forget about me, right? You know, it's because obviously everybody's gone through it in high school. Like, oh, man, I see you. Yeah, stay in touch, you know. Last contact 5 years ago, you know, stuff like that. But I'm sure if you went to school with Alice Cooper, or at least knew about him in school, you're definitely not going to forget about him, right? Actually, this song, he does a callback to his own high school, right? Cortez High School, I believe so. Because you see, like, he uses on some of the albums pictures from his yearbook and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Alma Mater, I really enjoy it. I love the distorted vocals, like I said. Like, he's talking to some tape recorder for like a verbal diary and whatnot, getting everything out in terms of high school, what he's going to miss, stuff like that. That we all go through, right? But in any case. Alright, the last song, the grand finale. There's no vocals. Again, it's like the last song off of Welcome to My Nightmare. I cannot believe I'm forgetting that song's title. Somebody mind in the comments. But in any case, it's just a brass introduction completed with harmonicas. Again, I love harmonicas. You know how much I talk about that. And there's a kick in the guitar, the twang. And again, just brass instruments that come into play so nicely. Again, like this song, it's about graduating, right? You're leaving, you're moving on in life. So of course it's going to be this big theatric showdown and whatnot. Drums feed off, just this jazz nightclub feel. I truly enjoy that. The notes of the instruments, they do raise in volumes at parts. Like I said, very triumphant, you know, just a huge achievement that's going on. Everything's smooth and great. Marching band types with the drums at times too. And this song, it ends with the score from Gutter Cats vs. the Jets. Hey. So grand finale. I think it does a great job editing this album. Again, it schools out. It's about school. It's about reflection. It's about, you know, the pros and cons about stuff that happens after school. You know, where do I go? Some sort of problems I might get into, stuff like that. So I really do think, you know, call it concept album, because I really do believe it is. I think School's Out is a great album. And before I started to do these album reviews, I listened to it every now and then, and I didn't really think a whole lot of it, but as I actually sit down and really did listen to it, I really do enjoy this album. So yeah, 1972, School's Out, my Alice Cooper band. Of course, the following year, 1973, would be a gigantic explosion in popularity with Billion Dollar Babies. So let me know what you think about School's Out, and if you like it, dislike it, anyways, let me know. I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to try and get Billion Dollar Babies out next week, but as for that, thank you so much for watching, and take care.